in the US, there have been programs like the Paycheck Protection Program targeted at supporting the small and medium enterprises. There has been direct funds transfer to households, a check to every household. But also, what was very, very useful in the early days of the pandemic was unemployment support, $600 per week in addition. So some households were making more from unemployment than they were making in work. But interestingly, it had the effect of a number of households went out and started their own enterprises. Enterprise creation in the US has really zoomed during the pandemic because people said, okay, this is a good chance for me to try something else. And they've been trying new jobs. But also household savings went up. And even though that stimulus has worn off, that $600 is no longer there, households are still able to maintain some spending. That is going to die now, which is why there's a clamor for another package. Now, I don't know that the direction of the stimulus has been that different in the industrial countries from India. What is different is the size. I mean, I think the numbers that are bandied around are all over the place, but most people would agree that its extent of the fiscal stimulus has been relatively small in India. Putting it all together, taking out the double counting, taking out the stuff that is liquidity measures rather than anything else, it's been relatively small, and that partly is because of where we started. We started this pandemic with a fiscal deficit of really, if you look at the public sector borrowing requirement of 10% of GDP. Yeah. So take the shrinkage of the economy and the shrinkage of revenues, that adds another 2 or 3 percentage points, which means that before we start doing anything, we're already at 13%. Compare that with European countries, which had before the pandemic a 3% limit on their fiscal deficit if they were to be consistent with the Growth and Stability Pact. In other words, our fiscal management has been terrible. And therefore, by the time the pandemic hit, there was no room.